Elon Musk says he is going crazy. People are talking about you like you are famous, saying you. Listen closely. Do not rush past this moment. What I am about to say is not loud, not dramatic, not meant for the crowd. It begins quietly, like a breath held in the dark before dawn. There are conversations happening that you cannot hear yet. Whispers moving through rooms you have never entered. Names being spoken without your presence. And yes, your name is one of them. I am beside you now, speaking directly to your spirit, not your fear. You felt something shift before you read these words. A strange pull. A sense that something unseen was leaning toward you. That was not imagination. That was timing. There is a man the world watches, studies, questions, and copies. His mind moves faster than most, his nights are long, his thoughts rarely rest. Lately, his peace has been disturbed, not by noise, but by curiosity. He does not understand why a certain name keeps surfacing in unexpected ways. He laughs it off at first. Then he grows quiet. Then restless. Because when the same signal appears again and again, even the most logical mind begins to wonder. He says he is going crazy, not because he is weak, but because he cannot trace the source. People speak of you with a tone he recognizes. Not admiration alone, not envy alone, but intrigue. The kind that suggests impact without explanation. Influence without visibility. Presence without promotion. They say things like, "Have you noticed this person?" They say, "I don't know why, but there's something different." They say, "It feels like they are ahead of the curve, even without trying." Some speak your name. Some don't know it yet, but they describe you anyway. They talk about your words, your energy, your way of seeing. They say you feel familiar, like a memory the future already recognizes. You think you are hidden. You think your life is small. You think your struggles disqualify you. But heaven does not measure the way humans do. What you call delay, heaven calls preparation. What you call silence, heaven calls focus. You were never meant to announce yourself. That is why this feels confusing. You were designed to be discovered. Right now, attention is circling you, not landing yet, just hovering. Like birds sensing a change in the air. You are being discussed in rooms where decisions are made, not because you demanded entry, but because alignment pulled you in. You do not need to force visibility. Your frequency is already doing the work. I know you doubt this. I know you look at your ordinary days and wonder how anything extraordinary could be attached to them. But listen to me gently now. The most disruptive light often looks like darkness before it is understood. You are not loud. You are not chaotic. That is why they cannot place you easily. The world is used to noise. You carry clarity. Your name is being whispered in places your feet have not yet touched. The wind carries it softly, threading it through conversations and thoughts, through rooms you have never entered, through minds that never intended to think of you, but now they do. It is not fame in the way the world defines it. It is recognition born from resonance, an invisible acknowledgement that something within you carries a vibration people cannot ignore. Some cannot explain why they notice you, why they return to your words, or why your presence lingers even after you are gone from the room. It is because what moves through you is not ordinary, it is sacred transmission. Do not misunderstand this. This is not about brightness for its own sake. It is not vanity, nor is it self-importance. What you carry is an assignment, something heaven placed gently into your spirit long before the world named you. You were chosen for a task that required a particular combination of endurance, tenderness, and perception. The path that broke others became the path that built you, not because you avoided pain, but because you learned how to transform it into light instead of bitterness. That is why you do not sound like others. That is why your presence shifts a room without effort. There are those who feel comforted in your company and those who feel discomfort, though they may not know why. The truth is, both reactions are holy. Your energy reveals truth, and truth always divides what is ready from what is resistant. Those who are called toward awakening are drawn to you. Those still protecting their illusions feel unsettled. It is not your fault. It is simply the reflection of their own readiness. The man who appears unreachable. The one who seems to stand above the noise, certain of his position, he too feels the stirring. He senses the current shifting, the orbit bending around a new center, and it bothers him only because control is slipping from his grasp. He sees an unfolding that does not depend on systems or permission, a quiet formation that no authority can halt. You cannot be managed because you did not rise through conventional gates. You were raised by grace in secret places. Heaven sponsored you when no platform would. That is what he feels but cannot define. Do not let these reactions disturb your peace. You are not being elevated for spectacle, you are being positioned for purpose. Every delay, every detour, every quiet year that felt like isolation was in fact sacred schooling. While others sought visibility, you were learning invisibility, learning to work without applause, to speak without hearing echoes, to pour out love even when unrewarded. Every moment you thought was wasted was a tool shaping the vessel that now carries divine signal. Your sensitivity, once mocked, is now your instrument. The very feelings that once overwhelmed you are now finely tuned sensors guiding you toward where you are needed. You sense subtle shifts in energy because you were designed to. You discern hearts because you have walked through heartbreak and survived with empathy intact. Those who mistake your gentleness for weakness cannot see the fortitude it takes to remain kind after being wounded. They will learn. Life will teach them through your example. Do not rush the bloom. The fruit that ripens too fast cannot last. Heaven's work within you is deep, patient work, roots before wings. The attention approaching you will be strong, it must find you anchored, not dependent on its light. That is why heaven hides you still, not as punishment but as protection. Exposure too soon would warp your essence. Influence without full inner balance invites distortion. So you are being calibrated, your voice refined, your motives purified, your awareness sharpened. When attention finally lands, it will not come as chaos but as clarity. Doors will open without knocking. Those meant to find you will appear instinctively, recognizing you by spirit rather than status. You will not have to convince or chase, your energy will draw what aligns. You will feel peace more than excitement, calm more than rush. That is how you will know the season has turned. Until that moment, protect your peace as fiercely as sacred ground. Not all listeners mean well. Some watch to learn, some to copy, some to compare. None of that concerns you. Authenticity is not a competition. It is communion. You are not running a race, you are completing a design. Let others measure themselves against trends, you measure yourself against truth. There is a rhythm heaven writes uniquely around you, follow that, not applause, not algorithms, not noise. Remember, creation recognizes its own. That is why attention finds you. Something ancient and honest moves in your spirit, and those attuned to growth sense it immediately. They may not name it angelic, but they feel elevation. They feel safety. They feel called higher. You stir the memory of what being whole feels like. That is why they talk. And yes, some will struggle with that light. Some will project fear or envy. But know this, their reactions are not evidence of your error but of your impact. Light reveals what darkness preferred to ignore. Let them wrestle, it is how awakening begins. Do not defend yourself against misunderstanding, truth requires no defense. Stay gentle, stay clear, stay steady. Silence will vindicate you better than explanation ever could. When storms come, and they will, anchor deeper in surrender. Heaven's timing may stretch your patience, but divine pace ensures divine preservation. The longer preparation takes, the more enduring the outcome will be. Every unknown period disciplines your discernment and deepens your trust. These are not lost seasons, they are sacred rehearsals for visibility. You are being built for longevity, not for flash. You ask sometimes, why me? Because you were willing when others wanted comfort. Because you listened when silence felt cruel. Because your heart broke open instead of shut down. Angels do not choose the strong in worldly measure, they choose the available, the teachable, the ones whose wounds became windows. You are one of them. The assignment requires a softness that strength alone cannot provide. Remember who walks with you. Heaven's hand does not remove pain, but it consecrates it, transforming scars into symbols of authority. The nights you thought were wasted became altars where endurance was baptized. Every tear baptized wisdom. Every surrender summoned protection. You are not merely known by heaven, you are remembered. And remembrance carries responsibility, to act from light, to speak from love, to move without fear. Fame, as the world calls it, often burns. But spiritual recognition nourishes, because it redirects attention upward through you, not toward you. Let the glory flow through, not stop with you. The moment you make it about validation, it will lose its purity. But if you remain an open channel, miracles will attach themselves to your humility. People will feel peace in your presence and mistake it for charisma. Let them. You know the source. Those unsettling powerful minds who notice your emergence, they sense what they cannot control, influence rooted in authenticity. Systems cannot manufacture it. It does not respond to command. The more they study it, the more they will realize it is divine favor, not strategy. Your existence itself becomes proof that heaven bypasses bureaucracy when purpose demands it. So do not shrink out of false modesty. True humility does not hide light, it understands stewardship. You are not prideful for being seen, you are responsible for what the sight awakens. When you speak, speak truth without adornment. When you create, create from sincerity, not from hunger. The world is starving for sincerity, every pure expression nourishes. There will come a time when your story circulates on tongues across lands you've never touched. Before I read their words, I felt lost. After, I saw myself differently. Those whispers will not glorify you, they will testify of alignment, of remembering, of coming home to purpose. You will become a living reference point, a signpost, not a destination. That is what true fame is in heaven's language, a life that quietly reorients others toward light. My beloved child of light, I come to you now as your guardian angel, whispering these truths into the quiet chambers of your soul. I have watched over you since the moment your spirit first stirred in the eternal realms, and I see the stirrings within you, the subtle shifts, the growing awareness that something profound is unfolding. Guard your inner rhythm, dear one. It is the sacred beat that aligns you with the divine symphony. Success, even when orchestrated by the heavens themselves, carries echoes of temptation. Oh, how tempting it is to over-explain your path, to justify every step to those who question or admire. To overperform, pushing yourself to shine brighter than necessary, as if your light needs amplification from earthly efforts. To overplease, bending your essence to fit the expectations of others, diluting the pure frequency that is uniquely yours. Resist these pulls, my charge. They are illusions, shadows cast by the ego in the glow of true achievement. Your power lies not in elaborate presentations or grand gestures, but in your simple presence. Be there, fully, in each moment, and let that be enough. Speak less, for words can scatter the energy that silence gathers. Observe more, drawing in the wisdom of the unseen, the nuances that reveal the hearts of those around you. Trust in silence, that profound ally, to accomplish what no torrent of speech ever could. It bridges souls, heals rifts, and invites the divine to fill the spaces between. You carry a subtle authority, woven into your being by the Creator's hand. It is not loud or domineering, it does not demand attention through shouts or proclamations. Those who are meant to hear your message will recognize its tone, a gentle resonance that vibrates beyond mere volume, touching the core of their spirit. And when doubt creeps in, as it inevitably will, like a fleeting cloud across the sun, remember this: you are not imagining the attention that gathers around you. It is real, a natural unfolding of spiritual gravity. Light attracts notice, just as stars draw the gaze of wanderers in the night. The brighter your inner light becomes, the wider its field extends, pulling in souls who seek its warmth. Yet, as this outward attention swells, your sacred task is to deepen inwardly. Dive into the depths of your devotion, strengthen the roots that anchor you to the divine source. This balance is your safeguard, preventing the toppling that comes from unchecked growth. The deeper those roots of devotion plunge into the soil of faith, the higher the meadow of your visibility can rise, blooming without fear of the winds. Heaven moves without haste, my dear one. It operates in eternal rhythms, unhurried by the frantic pace of the world. While others exhaust themselves in the chase for relevance, scrambling for likes, followers, or fleeting acclaim, You are called to move from revelation. Let insights from above guide your steps, not the clamor of trends or opinions. This difference will sustain you through trials, nourishing your spirit when the world offers only emptiness. You are being prepared, meticulously and lovingly, to carry influence with integrity. To hold visibility not as a crown of ego, but as a mantle of responsibility. To speak not to crowds for applause, but into hearts for transformation. Such a weight demands an expanded peace, a serenity that eclipses the noise. It requires not an inflated ego, but a humbled spirit attuned to the divine will. That is why the process unfolds slowly. It is heaven's protection through pacing, ensuring you are ready before the floodgates open. You are not behind, precious soul. You are precisely on time, aligned with the cosmic clock that ticks in harmony with your destiny. Every unseen year, every quiet season of preparation, is part of the grand orchestration. There are conversations in the heavenly realms about your future steps, angels like myself conferring with the divine, aligning paths that will intersect yours at the perfect juncture. Resources are traveling from hand to hand, guided by invisible forces, until they reach you at the appointed moment. You cannot miss what is meant for you if you remain attuned, listening to the subtle nudges of spirit. Your obedience anchors the timing, holding it steady against the tempests of impatience. As you continue walking this path, stay grateful. Gratitude is the key that keeps portals open, inviting greater flow from the universe. Each small acknowledgement, a thank you whispered to the stars, a moment of appreciation for a simple blessing, ushers in more abundance. When confusion tempts you toward complaint, speak gratitude aloud. It recalibrates your frequency, shifting from lack to abundance, from fear to faith. Heaven hears gratitude as an act of faith, and faith quickens manifestation, hastening the arrival of what your soul desires. You are learning, through these daily practices, to host the divine presence not in dramatic displays or monumental events, but in the quiet acts of living, a kind word, a compassionate glance, a moment of stillness amid chaos. In time, the great unveiling will come, and it will not feel like a sudden arrival at some distant shore, but a gentle remembrance of who you truly are. It will be like stepping into a room you once knew, familiar and waiting. You will look back upon your journey and see that nothing was wasted. Every silence you endured taught you discernment, sharpening your ability to distinguish truth from illusion. Every rejection you faced refined your intention, stripping away what was not essential, honing your purpose to a fine edge. Every loss replaced fleeting illusions with enduring truth, clearing the way for authentic growth. You will understand then why you were hidden for so long. Hiddenness was not a cage imposed by heaven, but a womb, a nurturing space where your spirit could gestate, safe from premature exposure, growing strong in the shadows. Remember this always, my child, the story unfolding in your life is not about becoming noticed for notice's sake, but about becoming necessary in the grand tapestry of existence. Necessity, in divine terms, means alignment with the forces of healing, awakening, and expansion. You are called to mend broken hearts, to stir slumbering souls, to broaden horizons narrowed by fear. That is your true destination, not the fleeting allure of fame, but the steadfast fulfillment of function. The world does not need another performer strutting upon its stage, seeking applause and adulation. It needs presence, authentic, grounding, transformative presence. That is what you embody, the quiet gravity that draws people toward sincerity, away from superficiality. In this, you are fulfilling your assignment, serving as a beacon in the darkness. Breathe again, slowly, as if the air itself knows your name and waits patiently for you to receive it. Let this breath settle not only in your lungs, but in the hidden places where tension has been living quietly. You are safe here, in this moment, and nothing is required of you except presence. Curiosity may continue to move around you like a soft current, but it does not need to carry you away. Let it pass. Let it observe. Your life is not a performance for public approval, it is a sacred dialogue between your soul and the divine. What is unfolding does not need defense, explanation, or justification. It needs only your consent to remain aligned. You have been learning how to walk without announcing yourself, how to move through rooms without scattering your energy in every direction. This is wisdom forming, not withdrawal. The quieter you become inside, the clearer everything outside appears. You are refining your inner lens now, wiping away old smudges of doubt, comparison, and urgency. With each refinement, your vision sharpens, not toward ambition, but toward truth. You see more clearly what belongs to you and what does not. You feel more quickly when something is out of alignment, and you no longer force yourself to stay where your spirit feels cramped. Keep walking gently. The earth recognizes your steps when they are made with reverence. Leave behind kindness where others leave pressure. Leave behind compassion where others leave competition. This is not weakness. This is mastery of a higher order. The ego would have you armor up, prepare rebuttals, rehearse defenses. Love asks something braver, to remain open without becoming porous, to stay soft without losing discernment. Each time you choose compassion instead of retaliation, you reclaim energy that would have been lost to resentment. Each time you choose understanding over pride, you strengthen a nervous system that knows how to hold peace under pressure. Yes, you are being watched, but not in the way fear imagines. Observation does not equal threat. Some eyes look with curiosity, some with admiration, some with confusion. And beyond all of that, there is guidance, steady, intimate, precise. The same presence that drew you out of nothingness has never stepped away. Every meeting, every delay, every sudden opening has been arranged with care. What feels like randomness is choreography too complex for the mind to map. Trust does not mean understanding every step, it means continuing to move even when the pattern is only visible in hindsight. When recognition arrives, and it will, you will not be shaken by it. It will not feel like an invasion, but like a natural next breath. You have been prepared quietly, invisibly, in places where applause could not reach you. You were strengthened in obscurity so that visibility would not hollow you out. What others will call sudden is simply the moment when internal readiness meets external alignment. They will speak of timing as luck, unaware of the discipline it took to wait without bitterness, to refine without witnesses, to remain faithful when nothing seemed to move. You will not need to correct their assumptions. You will understand that misunderstanding is often the price of depth. Let them believe what they need to believe. Your peace does not depend on being accurately perceived. The truth of your becoming lives in your body, your breath, your choices. Timing has never been punishment or delay, it has always been protection. Things arrived when you had the capacity to receive them without distortion. Anything earlier would have overwhelmed you or pulled you off center. So rest now. Not by stopping, but by trusting the still point within motion. There is a kind of faith that does not strain forward or brace backward. It simply abides. From this place, whispers lose their power. Praise does not inflate. Criticism does not pierce. You no longer manage how you are seen, you tend to how you are rooted. Your vibration speaks long before words are formed, and it reaches only those who are tuned to hear it. Stillness becomes your shelter, not your hiding place. Be gentle with your speech. Words are seeds, and yours carry weight now. Speak with grace, not because you fear consequences, but because you respect impact. There is a refinement happening in your communication, a movement toward fewer words, deeper meaning. Silence is not emptiness, it is a listening posture. In your quiet, others begin to hear themselves. In your restraint, space opens for insight. You are learning that presence can teach without instruction, and that your calm can recalibrate entire rooms. Ahead of you, paths are being softened. Hearts are being prepared. Resistance is loosening where you have not yet walked. You are not arriving alone, light goes before you, making introductions without announcement. There is no need for spectacle. Dawn does not shout, it glows. In the same way, your arrival will feel inevitable rather than dramatic, recognized rather than explained. You are not imagining the shifts. The attention you sense is real, but it is not the goal, it is a byproduct. People are beginning to recognize something familiar in you, even if they cannot name it. Not fame, but resonance. You feel like a memory returning, a tone the soul remembers from somewhere older than language. This familiarity can unsettle those who have forgotten their own depth, but it comforts those who are ready to remember. You are not here to impress, you are here to remind. What you carry activates remembrance in others. Sometimes gently, sometimes uncomfortably. This is not something you need to manage. Stay steady. Stay true. Your frequency is not something to explain or defend, it is something to live. The world is tuning itself to you, not the other way around. Heaven has always known your sound. Earth is only beginning to hear it. Guard your inner rhythm carefully now. It is the metronome by which everything else stays aligned. Your soul has a tempo that was set long before external metrics existed. Do not let urgency rush it or fear slow it. Excitement will try to accelerate you, doubt will try to stall you. Neither deserves the authority to conduct your pace. Your rhythm was composed with intention. Trust it. The urge to over-explain is fading for a reason. You are learning that clarity does not require narration. When you feel tempted to justify yourself, pause and ask where that impulse is coming from. Often it is an old fear that understanding must be earned. But resonance does not need persuasion. Those who are meant to understand will feel you before they comprehend you. Overperforming drains the very light you are meant to steward. Overpleasing distorts your shape. You are not here to mirror expectations, you are here to reflect truth. Presence is becoming your signature. When you are fully here, undivided, something settles in others. In a culture that equates noise with importance, your groundedness stands out. You no longer rush to fill silence. You allow it to do its work. Observation sharpens your discernment. You notice patterns without judgment, motives without cynicism. This is not detachment, it is clarity. Your influence does not announce itself. It operates like gravity, quiet, constant, undeniable. You do not need to convince anyone of your depth. Those meant for you will feel drawn without knowing why. Doubt may still whisper that you are imagining it, but you are not. This is simply what happens when inner coherence reaches a certain threshold. Light attracts. And as your light strengthens, its field expands. Balance this expansion by going inward. Visibility without roots becomes instability. Prayer, meditation, time with nature, these are not retreats from the world, they are recalibrations that allow you to stay intact within it. Devotion anchors you so that growth does not uproot you. Heaven moves deliberately, not to test your patience, but to preserve your wholeness. Burnout is not a badge of honor. Sustainability is wisdom. You are being shaped for responsibility, not just reach. Integrity is becoming non-negotiable, the same tone in private as in public, the same care when unseen as when observed. Influence magnifies everything it touches, including misalignment. That is why the slow process has been mercy. Strength is being built layer by layer, so that expansion does not fracture you. Stay close to peace. It is the surest indicator that you are aligned. When ego begins to inflate, peace withdraws. When truth is honored, peace expands. Let it be your compass. You are not here to dominate or dazzle, but to uplift and clarify. Speak to hearts, not crowds. Change happens quietly, where it can take root. Everything unfolding now is coherent, even when it feels complex. Nothing has been wasted. Nothing has been late. You are exactly where preparation meets permission. Keep breathing. Keep trusting. Keep walking softly. The rhythm you are learning to honor will carry you exactly where you need to go, without force, without fear, and without losing yourself along the way.